say what about Clemson? What did David Pollack and Greg McElroy say about Clemson? Well, it's not bad. I know us Clemson fans, we're used to the media dropping their drawers and taking a dump on us. But it's kind of good. Okay, it's really good. I want to talk about that in a second. I'm glad you're here. If you like talking college football, if you like talking Clemson football, this is your channel. I hope you'll subscribe. If you want to subscribe, remember, it is free. So this week, Greg McElroy and David Pollack made comments about Clemson. Let's start with David Pollack. Now, everybody knows this guy. Former Georgia football player. Former ESPN analyst. There's a lot of people who has respect for him. I do. I personally do. I like David Pollack. In fact, I've thought about reaching out to him to have him on the show. It's probably a reach for my show, but that's how much I like David Pollack. But this week, he said he sees Clemson as a contender, a strong contender for the 2025 season. He talked about Klubnik. He talked about the hiring of Tom Allen. Now, he pointed to the use of the transfer portal. That's just tomato for me. I'm not going to hang Clemson's potential success on the transfer portal. And I'm not knocking him for that or knocking anyone for that. You just know, for me, if you listen to me, you know I've talked about the lack of coaching. Tom Allen was an incredible grab. Matt Luke was an incredible grab. You have more guys like that on the staff. You increase your chances of having a really good outcome. But I'm not going back there. So Pollack says, hey, listen, Clemson's obviously the team to beat in the ACC, and they're a serious playoff contender in 2025. This is a guy who's not a Clemson guy. This is not a guy who, to my knowledge, he's independent now. Correct me if I'm wrong, please do. But he's David Pollack, and everybody knows him. Good grief, he's on the new 2024-2025 college football game. I always get the years mixed up. That's how big of a deal David Pollack is. And he's talking about Clemson. Let's go over to Greg McElroy. Greg McElroy said, listen, it's a natty or bust. It's a championship or bust for Clemson in 2025. Former Alabama quarterback, national championship winning quarterback turned ESPN analyst, was on a show this week, and he was talking about all the teams who had something special going on. He talked about Ohio State in 2024. He talked about Michigan in 2023. And then he leaned into 2025 and talked about Clemson and everything that they have done. He talked about Cade Klubnik. He talked about how Cade is in year 4. And how the receivers, just the receivers that they have now, along with the receivers like Antonio Williams, who's been there for a while now. It's all setting up really, really well for this coming 2025 season. He talked about the hiring of Penn State's Tom Allen. Now, let's pause here before I even go any farther. Do you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? These guys who are SEC, I would say royalty to a point. You know, they have a big name in college football. They've played for 2 very well-known programs in college football history. And they are stepping back. They don't even work for the same company anymore. McElroy, he's still with ESPN. Pollack, he's out on his own. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think that he's working with any network right now. But these guys are independently, separately saying, hey, look, Clemson has it. Clemson has the pieces. Clemson has the talent. Clemson went out and made a really good hire at defensive coordinator. It's natty or bust for them, guys. Now, here's my thought on the natty or bust, championship or bust, and I think I get where McElroy is coming from, where his angle he's playing there. You need to understand something, folks, that if you have a majority of your team are good players, if they're good players and they have experience, this is going to be shocking to some of you. You're supposed to win a lot of ball games. And when you go in and play a good football team, instead of pulling out your excuses like Clemson fans have been doing since 2018, Clemson fans have really become very good at explaining away Clemson losing games that they shouldn't lose. They've become very good. And I'm a Clemson fan, and I am sickened by how Clemson fans now will look and say, well, you know what? We're playing big games, and we don't really do well in big games, but we should go to the playoffs. Excuse me? That doesn't make sense. What type of weird Cirque du Soleil, whatever it's called, mental gymnastics are you playing on yourself? Clemson, I'm just going to get to the point. Clemson's supposed to be good this year. They have Tom Allen coming in. It'll be first year, but the guy can coach. He has a lot of talent to work with. Clemson has the favorable schedule. LSU, they've recruited well for many, many years. Don't let that talking point kind of stump you. In fact, LSU's doing less with more right now. And we know why. I respect Brian Kelly. I don't think he's a bad coach, but an elite coach, I don't think he is an elite coach. LSU thought so, and they're paying the price for it. They're doing less with more. They have a lot of talent, but they're doing less with it. So don't get stuck mentally for that. These guys, Pollack and McElroy, separately are looking at Clemson and saying, we believe that they can make a run. A legitimate run to the college football playoff and potentially progress through the college football playoff as a contender, a true legit contender. You don't need someone to blow a 21-point lead so you can luck into your conference championship game and stumble into a college football playoff. We believe they are a legitimate contender, that they don't need anyone to mess up for them to get there. And that's what Clemson used to be. Clemson used to be a team that they were like, hold on. Y'all think we can't beat a Lamar Jackson-led Louisville team? Bring them on over. Beat them. Oh, I know Notre Dame's looking good right now with Deshaun Kaiser, but bring him in the valley. We don't care if there's a hurricane coming through or not. We'll beat him. Oh, we need to play Oklahoma where? Yeah, we'll beat them. We have to play Ohio State in what round of the college football playoff? Oh, we will not only beat them, we will embarrass them. That's how Clemson rose to the status and the level that they actually reached in 16 and 18. And those years around 16 and 18 were pretty doggone good. Clemson did not have the mentality of they needed someone to mess up for them to get into a college football playoff. By the way, at the time, it was a 14 playoff, not a 12 team. So these guys are looking and saying they have the pieces. We know what championships look like. We know what big-time football looks like. And we're telling you right now, Clemson has it. But that's why McElroy is throwing in the or bust part. Now, folks, I'm not predicting that Clemson wins a national championship this year. I think that can get sticky with almost any team. But McElroy is actually challenging them there. If y'all come out in the regular season, you lose 3 ball games. He even addressed the whole running back situation. Now, do I believe we need a good running back? Of course. And I know we have youth coming into this thing, but it's almost like Clemson fans are starting to manufacture excuses if Clemson should blow it this year. Again, it's legitimate, but it's almost like some people are already looking for an excuse for if Clemson comes out and doesn't do that well, totally underperforms to where they can point at that one position. Oh, I know we have the 4-year starter or the 3-year starter, and Cade Klubnik, and he's been there for 4 years, and we know that we have 4 out of 5 starting offensive linemen back, and we know that TJ Moore and Wesco are doing really well, and we know Antonio Williams are killing it, and who knows of all the freshmen that are coming in that could really do well on the offensive side of football. We know we have Tom Allen. We know we have Peter Woods and Parker and Sammy Brown and these players and everything. We have a field goal kicker that if they can block for him, he's going to drill every field goal. But we're looking, where can we give ourselves some wiggle room just in case Clemson really wets the bed? Running back. Let me tell you this. If you think that's bad, you should see who Clemson will probably be losing, what the team will look like in 2026. My point is Clemson fans should stop with the excuses and look at what McElroy is saying. He's saying, y'all have the pieces to not only be a contender, but a legitimate, strong contender. Pollack is saying the same thing. And I agree with these guys. You know, I'm hard on my team. I'm not like some people that, I'm going to leave that one alone. To each person, they have their own opinion. Each person has their own opinion, and that is wonderful. Great. But I just believe that the talent that is at Clemson, South Carolina, with the coaching staff that Dabo has slowly started to firing someone every year to bring on someone to actually do the job well, coach the talent, take advantage of the rather easy schedule that Clemson has. Clemson has the pieces, and these guys are well, they're just saying it out loud. So kudos to them for doing that, because we know that the media has dumped on Clemson in the past, and that's just it. Folks, tell me, what do you think about this coming season? What do you see? I'm just asking. What do you see? Will Clemson, if Clemson loses 3 ball games, I'm just throwing this out there. If they lose 3 ball games in the regular season this year, it is a bust. Somebody's head better have fallen off their shoulders and rolled across Death Valley for Clemson to lose 3 ball games this year. In the regular season, especially. Y'all take care of yourself. Before I go, hope you will subscribe. It is free if you like talking college football. I'm here. Y'all take care of yourself, and as always, go Tigers.